Islam Moors, Tyler Ambrose Ali here, and welcome to Standing on Your Square Productions. Today is July the 27th, 2019, and it's been a few weeks since we've been on the line here, but we wanted to take a few minutes since it's a beautiful and glorious day. We wanted to take a few minutes and jump on the line and say hey to everyone. Let us know that we're still here, we're still breathing, we're still active on the land here at Al Marak, Morocco. Let's get into our topic of discussion. Let's get you the disclosure first. Standing on your squares, at no point, at no time ever do we provide legal advice, meaning the material that we share with you, it is not legal advice. We're not your legal representative. We are not your lawyer. However, the material we're providing is lawful knowledge, fact-based knowledge, field-tested knowledge, and we just wanted to bring it to you just to share with you. So, a couple quick things before we begin. The last time since we jumped on the line here, guys, we did not have credentials, which I like to call them that, credentials. You know, you don't need credentials to be who you are. You don't need your credentials to walk in the title of nobility. However, from my field knowledge and field experience and seeing these different instances where you go to a corporation and you're attempting to barter your time in exchange for Federal Reserve notes, more times than not, when you say, you know, I'm not a U.S. citizen, you know, I'm not a nom de guerre, I'm this, I'm that, and you turn around and you provide a nom de guerre identification card, that kind of doesn't really help your, it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't really help your cause much. It doesn't really help settle your status. You could be your status in your head and in your mind and verbally all you want. I just feel like in the world that we domicile in now, the world that we live in now, it doesn't allow you to be who you are and say who you are, and people are like, oh, okay, no problem, let me go ahead and process that for you right now. No, nowadays people just have to give you shit and test you. People are intolerant, they don't want to hear shit. You know, you pretty much spend your life and every hour of every day wanting to understand these different facets of law, and 9 times out of 10 it's as simple as doing all of that, and you go to a corporation and a person with ignorance, no knowledge and understanding, no clear understanding, no overstanding, and they're trying to tell you what you can't do. Well, I'm here to say more is that when you're in your title of nobility and you're doing business at Morocco and you're asked for identification, you just, here you go. You just take it right off and hand it to them. Bam, there you go, right there. It's that simple. And let me tell it, the lanyard, it just looks more professional. Islam? So our topic of discussion today, guys, is the Constitution of 1787, the Constitution for the United States of America. It's only 8 pages, okay? We're not going to read through all 8 pages here today, guys. We're just going to cover the main topics from what I believe I overstand. From what I believe I overstand, I'm going to stand by it until I know better. Simple as that. One thing I can honestly say about utilizing the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787, the Constitution for the United States of America, if for any reason I just had a complete brain fart and forgot who I am, what I am, where I'm at, I would rely on this item, these 8 pages. There are a few articles in here that I feel like it's noteworthy. Article 1, Section 8. Let's just jump right into it, guys. Article 1, Section 8 states, Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States, but all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. First things first, they mention to pay a debt. Moors, give me some comments in the comments section, okay? Make this interactive if you like, you know? Let's help have a full understanding of what we're dealing with here and what we're working with here. Moors, give me some comments in the comments section. Do we or do we not have a treaty that states gold and silver coinage only? Because if I understand correctly, to pay a debt, you would not use Federal Reserve notes, if I understand that correctly. Still within Article 1, Section 8, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the law of nations. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district, not exceeding 10 miles square. This item here is advising you the 10 square mile radius. Article 1, Section 9 now. The migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by Congress prior to the year 1808. But a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 for each person. Very interesting. Let's keep reading, guys. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. Let me read that again. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid unless in the proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to or from one state be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. Very interesting. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States. And no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present annulment, office, or title of any kind, whatever, from any prince or foreign state. I kind of stumbled there a little bit, guys. Again, we're reading from the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. This is the section I really wanted to point emphasis on, guys. All right. If we didn't know already, gold and silver is our coinage. That's our way to pay a debt. And as we know, in most instances, hell, in all instances, when you offer gold and silver or request gold and silver only, you're told, no, we use cash. No, we can cut you a check. No, we use Federal Reserve notes. Well, by the powers of the treaty, it says gold and silver coinage only. It doesn't say if you have a revised version edition, use that coinage. It says gold and silver only. So I'm going to hold whichever corporation it is that attempts to do business with me, I'm going to hold you accountable to that treaty. If you're a corporation operating in dishonor, which you are, I'm going to hold you to it. As simple as that. All right, Moors. So Main section here, point of emphasis. We're still in the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. Article 1, Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. So this is Article 1, Section 10. So if they're telling me, or grant any title of nobility, that's telling me, if I'm using my best judgment, that no corporation can grant my title of nobility, or grant any more, or any indigenous person a title of nobility, which would mean when you go to a corporation and they say, hey, you need a document from this corporation, that corporation. We'll use a great example. The territory where I domicile is now rezoned and named Sparks, Nevada. There is a 99-cent store on Prater at McCarran. Don't have the store number. It's very easy to get this information. But the point that I'm trying to make, guys, is the day before I received my credentials in the mail to, to basically show, hey, I am who I say I am here, I was told by the manager, Mr. Robert, that you need a document from the government with a tax exemption number on it. Now, first of all, I did advise the young man, hey, indigenous people don't have ties with the corporation, or any corporation for that matter, so therefore we would not have a number. Here is my exemption number, 222141. Do you understand me? The young man looked me dead in my eye, and this is a modern European, by the way, looked me dead in my eyes and said, I can't even access the non-tax, which we know is bullshit. You know it, I know it. Anybody that's familiar with the Zodiac Constitution, Article 3, no taxation without representation, military and Moors are tax exempt. So at that point, that tells me basically that the young man is intolerant. That corporation is intolerant. So that means that the 99-cent store in Sparks, Nevada, Prater at McCarran, it's on Prater Way, but the cross street is McCarran. It needs to be leaned. I can do the lean, y'all. But, a wise man once said, hey, it's just the 99-cent store. When I looked at my receipt, the tax was only 25 cents. I don't give a damn how much the tax was. It's the principle in the matter. The principle in the matter is I'm tax exempt. Let's keep reading in this Constitution. Okay? Let's keep reading in the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. There go the apartments. They hypothecating people. They're riding around in that little golf cart trying to tell people, oh, yeah, these are beautiful apartments, and this is Sparks, Nevada, and, everything is just so kosher. It's bullshit, man. They're asking for Federal Reserve notes. All right, so moving on with the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. Article 3. This is judicial, apparently. Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court. So think about that for a second, Moors. Let's just say if we weren't aware of the Moorish American Consulate, or the Moorish Federal Republic, the Moorish Federal Government. Let's just say we weren't aware of any of these. Let me read it again. Article 3, Section 1, the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court. And from what I remember from the Nevada Constitution of 1864, I believe the Supreme Court is a total of 9 seats, 9 members of that, I believe. 9 meaning I am. You guys see you guys reading between the lines, you guys seeing this? Article 3, Section 2, the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and the treaties made, or which shall be made under their authority to all cases affecting ambassadors, that's us, other public ministers, and consuls. Now, I like to say that I went on ahead and jumped in there and just accepted I am an ambassador. And I shouldn't be saying I am an ambassador with the brown thing hanging off my lips. So I apologize. Let me remove that. I am an ambassador. And 10 times out of 10, when I deal with a hypothecator, I'm not going to have this on my lip, hanging off my lip. You take it off and put it in your left hand, but in the right hand, you have this. This. We're starting to make tabs too, you guys. We got a process going here. We just need a little bit more time, and we just need to get this stuff the rest of the way organized. And I guarantee you, it'll literally be to the point to where all you have to do is just go down the bullet points. This is a guy with collections experience, never had worked in a call center at the time before, never had an office job, was so nervous, and pretty much they give you in training your bullet points. You have your bullet points, and as long as you stick to your bullet points, even if somebody tries to throw you off with their shit that people come up with, you know, you just follow your bullet points. And, you know, how can you go wrong if they say, okay, there's 10 steps and you've only done 3 of the steps? You know, how can you say, oh, this process I'm not receiving remedy, or oh, this is not working, and you haven't even finished everything? All right, so if we're keeping going, let's keep going. The trial of all crimes. The trial shall be at place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Yeah, some of these parts, I admit, guys, I don't fully understand it to this point, okay? However, I did highlight it as, again, we're going to go on the premise that what if one didn't know of the Moorish American consulate? What if one was on his or her own, attempting to seek remedy and be treated equally? How would you present this? How would you explain this to one? And it would go as follows. You know, hey, I have a Supreme Court. This Justice Court in this territory known as Sparks, Nevada, is not an Article 3 venue. It's not, I'm sorry, I forgot. You're not supposed to know about Article 3. This isn't the Supreme Court. I demand to be seen before a Supreme Judge, or if it's a magistrate, I demand that. I'm not answering any of your questions. And at that point, I would have my motions ready to go. My motion to be heard, my motion to compel, my motion to strike, my motion to dismiss. You know, these are just different things that I personally have used and would use, you know, if I didn't know, oh, there's a Moorish American consulate? Really? I don't personally myself say Moorish American. I say I am a Moor, you know, I am a Toktung, you know, and that's spelled A-U-T-O-C-H-T-H-O-N. A-U-T-O-C-H-T-H-O-N. A Toktung. You know, and if you look that up, that means original. Let me tell it the way how I overstood my study. Tyler Ambrose Ali, how I overstood my instruction and study. A Toktung, to me, I gathered, means original. Higher status than Aboriginal, higher status than Native, higher status than whatever you want to call it. You're original. Then comes, you know, hey, I'm a descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet. You know, I am a Moabite. I am a descendant of the Canaanites. However you want to word it. Okay, but at the end of the day, as long as you're advising of your status in the community and you're not talking subject, I would imagine, just from having that experience in the courtroom of coming out of character, I would imagine it would be pretty hard for them to knock you off your square if you know, stay in character, obviously, which your character is your special appearance. That's a character, special appearance, you know. And let me just finish this off real quick, guys, and then I wanted to cover a quick, I just wanted to, you know, kind of say something that's not on the script and it wasn't written. You know, it's just from, basically from the heart. So let's get through it. So now we're up to Article 4. All right, this is Article 4, the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787. Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Let me read that again, Morris. Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. I just highlight that point. This is advising me, if I'm understanding that correctly, that full faith and credit is to be provided, especially when it comes to judicial proceedings. I would have said pro bono, but full faith and credit, that works. I happen to have a document, which we'll get into on another video, that's on top of the certificate of sale into slavery. You guys call it birth certificate, but the certificate of title that this more possession of has a document affixed to it from the Department of State that states the exact same thing: full faith and credit of the United States. I used to think that it was some big significant thing like, oh, okay, great, I have unlimited credit, woo! But it's like, after further fact-finding and further research, that's not even the case. And if I'm understanding, after having an affidavit of ownership notarized and certified by the Secretary of State of Nevada, or the Secretary of the Republic of Nevada, certifying that, and the Secretary of the Republic of California signing off on that, kind of makes me think, okay, well, what are they agreeing to? They're not agreeing to give a more full faith and credit, so it's not really the point of that. But basically, the further research it led me to, you were sold into slavery, and they're acknowledging it. And you have the proof of that. All right, still in Article 4. This is Section 4. Article 4, Section 4. The Constitution for the United States of America, 1787 states, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government. So as you notice, I caught myself and I said state of Nevada, and I try to correct myself every time I do that. The Republic of Nevada, the Nevada Republic, Nevada, the territory called Nevada, Nevada Republic, but never the state of. All right, so we're buttoning it up here, guys. We're down to the very last page here. This is Article 6, states, and Article 6 does not have sections, by the way. Article 6, the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787, states, and I quote, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be supreme law of the land." Let's finish up this last, it's like a paragraph. It's like a paragraph of material, even if you don't find it important. It's highlighted and it appears to have some significance in one way or another. Leave your comments in the comments section. Definitely let me know. Let us know. And judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Notwithstanding, from what I remember verifying, meaning it does not outdo this Constitution. So more is what that means is these statutes, codes, ordinance, regulations, municipalities that we're being forced to abide by, they're not withstanding this Constitution, guys. So that would tell me, as this more, Tyler Ambrose Ali, this would tell me to enforce this. If this is saying specifically it's supreme laws of the land, enforce it. Enforce this item right here, guys. This is a ticket right here. Enforce it. If it's telling you this is the supreme laws of the land and nothing is withstanding, what are you waiting on? Enforce this. Every time somebody comes with their hand out saying you have a debt, you need to have this motherfucking document out. That would be standing on your square, right? Come on, Moors. When you get with this and hey, okay, I see what the brother's saying. Leave me some comments in the comments section. You know, if you need examples, highlight examples that you can photocopy and color and provide it to your hypothecator. Shoot us an email at tylerambroseali@gmail.com. Either that or leave your email in the comments section and we'll get back to you within 48 hours. We're very quick and very good about that. We're even looking at seeing if we can have a PA around here helping the writers out. That'd be pretty cool. We'll get into that in a few seconds. Okay, so let's button this up. So the last thing we said, you know, basically anything in this Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Okay. Lastly, it says all executive judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. Last and final article in it, Article 7. The ratification of the conventions in 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution. We have, is it 50 or 51 so-called states is what they call them. I say republics, territories, or jurisdictions is what I say. Okay, so let's read it again. Article 7, the ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states, so ratifying the same. Done in convention by the unanimous consent of states present the 17th day of September in the year 1787, and the independence of the United States of America, the 12th, a witness whereof we have hereunto subscribed our names. And it's led by Mr. G. Washington, President and Deputy from Virginia. And let's get a quick glimpse here, so that way it doesn't look like I'm just reading a bunch of who'd you got you. So what we're saying here, guys, is that you have original laws to this land. Enforce them shits. That's what it boils down to, Morris. Enforce your motherfucking laws. They enforce their laws and their wills upon you. You enforce the original treaties and original laws of the land. What is wrong with that? What would be wrong with that? What is wrong with being shrewd with people, not cocky? I was called cocky. I'm not cocky. I may be shrewd, but not cocky. I'm not cocky. I don't want to ever get from somebody, you know, in a modern European, don't get cocky with me, nigga. You know, I don't ever want to get that. That was supposed to be funny. And some people might not have found that funny. And again, this is why it's an open platform and why we have writers. And I'm off script now. Since we're being honest, we've covered the script. But let's talk to you. Let's bring it to you. Let me sit down. Let me talk to you. Listen up. However you want to say it. You know, at this point, it's all about enforcement. Enforcement and pointing to what you know. What do I know? What do I understand? What bullet points do I have to fall back on? What do I have for stability to do I want to say repudiate a claim? I don't even think repudiate is the right word. Again, Moors, leave me your comments in the comment bar. Let me know. You know, do I want... Okay, let's just move on. The point being is that you know you're going to be hypothecated. You know you're going to be told no. You know these people are going to come to you and say, we want Federal Reserve notes for dead pledge insurance, what you call it, rent. You know, we need Federal Reserve notes just because. Property tax. The resources called electricity. You know, we need Federal Reserve notes for that. So Moors, what we just sat here and had a conversation for, the document we just covered, the Constitution for the United States of America, 1787, that applies. Facets of that applies. You know, don't get scared now, because we're getting to a point where we're starting to see so-called high-level government and corporate operations shut down. You guys know what I'm talking about, and their employees and their so-called high-ranking officials resigning, some dying, some being arrested. You know the different things. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't play word games with me. I get a lot of that. People like to play word games. Fuck the word games. You know, if I say that people are dying because the truth is coming out, don't get on my page and say, oh no, only one person died. Didn't I just say that people are dying? Don't shit gotta get worse before it get better? Wouldn't placing liens on corporations territory wide across the North Gate, wouldn't that help the kind of things that we see happen? Wouldn't having your credentials on you at all times, always have your fucking credentials on you at all times, whenever you leave out your domicile, have your fucking credentials on, wouldn't that help you get used to standing on your square? Isn't the times in the past when we were violated, even in instances just for no reason, just for being there, we were violated? Wasn't the difference not knowing this material versus now being aware of it and having some understanding of it? So Moors, what are we waiting on? What do we do when we're violated by a utility company or even a person in the street? No. I need to take as long as it takes to get this situated. Oh, they took money out of the account? What? You know, and you guys do whatever you need to do to make it happen. Why in the hell come the same or similar principles can't be utilized in this exact process? And it's just crazy that what we're Moors are attempting to do, that's what it's going to take. The same attitude and the same approach and the same outlook and the same process you want to put together to pursue some person that you think is hot or this job is cool. Those are the same principles you need to stand on your square when these people are demanding Federal Reserve notes. Again, leave your comments in the comments section. Leave your comments, Moors. Don't be afraid. All right? Another thing I want to say, we don't get a lot of recognition on here. You know, I don't know what it